back to Still Becoming with Jazzy and Drew, the podcast where we share real conversations about growth, identity, resilience, and the ongoing journey of becoming who we are meant to be. As part of our Pride Month series, we're honored to amplify LGBTQ plus voices and stories that deserve to be heard. Today, we're joined by someone whose experiences remind us of the power of visibility, authenticity, and refusing to let others define who you are. I am so honored to welcome my long-term friend, Ramona P, also known as Lola P, to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
We're really glad you're here, Lola. Before we dive in, I would love for you to tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Oh, wow. That's a well, I'm 50-year-old 58-year-old woman. I'll been 17 years into my transition and have a computer-based background. Grew up with computers, love computers, live computers, and physically challenged from falling off of a radio tower, getting a traumatic brain injury, which it totally changed my career goals, but changed it, I think, to the better.
Awesome. I mean, you have such a rich background with such a powerful story. I know technology is your thing, especially computers. So would you like to just share with people what you do for the community when it comes to accessing technology?
Ah, well, currently I'm working with Linux systems development. Linux is a an operating system. Well, the Linux distributions are an operating systems that kind of compete with Windows. Completely open source, so anybody can build what I'm doing, and I am using that capability to develop a distribution or operating system specifically designed with disabilities in mind, so that when you install it right out of the box, you have complete access to software that will allow you to pretty much do anything that you need to do, such as iris tracking for control, head tracking for gaming, which a lot of distributions don't have, speech to text, text to speech, all the way down to a dyslexia font, so that people with dyslexia can read their computers just like anyone else. Um, to make it basically a computer with zero limits.
That is so cool. And I know as your friend, I do get a lot of the behind the scenes of what you do and I get to test out some of the websites and things for you and I just think that is so amazing. And I really appreciate what you're doing for everyone in the disability community. Yeah, so knowledgeable about technology. I literally make one of my own personal free IT person because she knows everything that is impossible to know. And if she doesn't know something, she'll keep looking for an answer until she finds one. So thank you so much for sharing that, Bella.
Yeah, I actually wanted to thank you for being part of my testing team. I actually have a full testing team of different people with with varying disabilities to test out what I'm doing and see what works both in website building and what would work in my distribution build to make it easier for access with whatever disabilities that anyone has. You,
Yeah.
my cousin Neil, who is dyslexic, uh, I have like 7 different people volunteering to test different aspects, both the website and the distribution,
That's
uh,
awesome.
to make certain that not only does it work, but it works well and seamlessly with whatever
Yeah.
disabilities that you have.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm so honest. To be honest with you, it's a lot of fun. I love when I get messages from you because they're so unexpected. And it's like, hey, try this out for me. Let's see what you think. So I appreciate it.
Oh, I do. Whenever you're over, I can go. I go to you. Cause more than that, I like going to you. I learn something from your stories, eh? What your experiences.
Yeah, so you said that anytime he has computer issues, he knows exactly who to contact. So he's so Mona. And Mona is a conversationalist. So while she's helping us through our problems, we tend to learn a lot from Mona and her experiences. And we always leave our problem solving with Mona, learning something new. Because one thing about Mona is that, yeah, we will walk you through how to do something, but you better be paying attention so you can remember for next time. So Mona is also a teacher, which I really appreciate because Mona's like, listen, okay, time for you to come back to me with the same question. Well, yes, one thing I love about Mona is she loves to empower people to know that they can fix the issue on their own, should it happen at that. So, yeah, we are very lucky to have Mona in our lives. Um, so, um, Mona, one of the things that really stood out to both Drew and I from your invitation was how you described climate. You said that pride means public exposure. To say, no matter how much people think we aren't real, we are here. That is such a powerful statement. So can you tell us more about what that means to you?
Having the ability to be public with who I am and where I'm going in my personal journey, regardless of whether it's LGBTQ or in within disabilities. Um, Emotionally speaking, being able to be public with who you are is is extremely important to one's mental well-being, mental health well-being, one's own self-image well-being. Um, I can speak toward the LGBTQ community better than I can the disability community when it comes to that, because back before the ADA was developed
Mhm.
and put into practice by George H.W. Bush, um, people who were physically disabled and required wheelchair use and what have you were just institutionalized
Mhm.
straight up.
Mhm.
They're- Either they were taken care of at home and never taken anywhere, or institutionalized and never went anywhere. But and of course, the development of the ADA changed all of that by giving mostly equal access to individuals with mobility disabilities. There are still some places that fall short of that goal. But the
Yeah.
same is with the LGBTQ community being able to be
Yeah.
public as they are, not who you want them to be,
Yeah. I love that
is the
so much.
absolute pinnacle of being who you are. Growing up, very difficult situation for me because I had a mother who was accepting of who I am or who I was back then, because that changes as you go. But I
Mm.
had a stepfather who was not accepting of it whatsoever. And if I acted a little more feminine than than he preferred, I got severe punishment for it. So I had to live
Mhm.
in hiding even within my own home.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's that way in public too, with people who do not agree that being transgender is real or being homosexual is real. Um,
Mhm.
and so um, we are having to hide ourselves even in public for fear of persecution, and
Yeah.
in some cases, fear of physical abuse.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so, Pride Month gives those in the LGBTQ community who are living in hiding a chance to express who they are around other
Yeah.
who are expressing who they are,
Yeah.
instead of who what someone else wants them to be.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I really appreciate that was fun. And you touched on growing up, how you have to hide, because you suffered abuse in the hands of your stepfather. Um, and with it being Pride Month, I do. So the other day, I was watching the Matthew Shepherd story. It's a very hard movie to watch, but what Melvin basically just touched on is that, how people can't be who they are in public. And so, for those who may not be familiar with Matthew Shepard, he was a young man who was gay and was essentially killed in Wyoming, a small town in Wyoming, and he was basically beat to death. That's how he died, simply for being gay. And that, Wild Pride Month is supposed to be a month, like Lola said, to be proud of who we are and be able to be out in public spaces exactly who we are instead of trying to cover up conform to society's expectations. That movie was a reminder how far we came in the LGBTQ community, but how far we still have to go because there's still that Matthew Shepard movie was a reminder that there's still some
It
states,
is still a fight.
yeah, there's still some states, some towns where you can end up easily like Matthew Shepard and get killed for the simple fact that you're gay or you're trans or whatever that is. And that's really a heartbreaking reality that we live in, you know? I came out as queer a few months ago, and, you know, basically people like Mona and my family who also have other LGBTQ, my siblings are LGBTQ, I felt comfortable, but realistically, do I feel like I could be my full career self in public? No, I don't. I still feel like I have to hide the fact that I find attractive to females, right? Because it's just like a lot of stereotypes and a lot of stigmatization still that exists. So I appreciate you touching on that, Lola, and I know as an exercise, I know a lot, but I know you live in a town that also is not as accepting of you. And I know you've had experiences. Would you like to briefly share some of those experiences?
Well, yeah, one of the biggest difficulties we are running into, well, I'm running into as a trans person, is it's not it's not necessarily the stereotype,
Mm-hmm.
but it is the perceived stereotype that is actually non-existent,
Mm-hmm.
such as going to a bathroom in a business, um, and going to the appropriate bathroom for who I am. Um, I, it's the perceived stereotype that people are hammering us with doesn't even exist. Thinking that trans people are going into the bathroom to do bad things to women.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I mean, there's never been a history of that.
No.
I,
No.
there is one account of one person who claimed to be trans, but later turned out that they weren't.
Mm.
And
But
so there is absolutely no history of trans individuals assaulting anyone in a restroom, but there is
yeah.
a long history of cis individuals assaulting women in women's restrooms.
Ah. Hey.
Not
So,
not even trying to pose as a woman. They're just going into women's restrooms and assaulting.
wow. Wow.
But there is absolutely no documented history about trans individuals assaulting anyone in any restroom, yet trans women who are forced by law to go into the bathroom that fits the gender marker that they arbitrarily gave you at birth.
Yeah.
Trans women have been assaulted repeatedly in the men's room, and there's a long history of that as well because of the archaic bathroom laws that are being enacted all across the South,
Yeah.
including including here in my home state. There are currently 4 bills going through our state representatives, and all of them have anti-trans bathroom rhetoric in
Wow.
all 4 of those bills that they're trying to push all at the same time. Luckily, we have a very understanding and LGBTQ friendly governor here who
Okay.
will, of course, veto those bills, but then they can turn around and go right back to the state Senate and state House and go right through the same process and be enacted as laws by overriding the veto.
Mhm.
So
Wow. Wow.
it's a shame that one has to absolutely understand civics and politics.
Yeah.
I'm in here.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. Yeah.
It's not an option.
Yeah. But I agree. You have to know what's going on in the political climate for your own safety at this point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay,
I learned through this when Mona talked about anything, any so interesting.
Yeah. He said he just always wants someone about everything, whatever we talk to you, blah, blah, and it's always so interesting. And I think you offer a perspective that, a lot of people don't think about, or like you said, don't have to think about. So, I appreciate you offering those perspectives because that's my goal with the podcast is just like we're all stuck in our own little world and like it's a whole different world when it comes to LGBTQ, issues. And then with a disability on top of that is a lot of intersectionality there. So yeah.
I agree with you, Jazzy, that no, people want to do it like they, when they see it, they go, unsuitable, trans, unsuitable. They don't know what the like is because they don't have to think about it.
Yeah. So he said he agrees that he wants to believe people that are not disabled or not LGBTQ plus, they want to do the right thing and they think they're doing the right thing, but they're not because they just don't have the knowledge required to know what the right thing is, or maybe they don't have the experience that we do to even know that's the right thing to do would be, you know?
Well, they're believing the political rhetoric that that some people are screaming, and I'm gonna name any kind of political parties,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's
they're believing
true.
the rhetoric because they're not doing the research
Yes, exactly,
that
exactly.
actually is going on. So,
Yes, it's like monkey see, monkey do. It's like, oh, okay, this is what you call. Okay, yeah, we'll come with these people. Yeah, yeah. And then they're like, they don't even know what, like you said, they don't even know what happened. Stuff that's going on.
and then some people, even though even if they do the research, they don't believe that what they're
Yeah,
anyway, and are denying what is actually occurring.
it's true. Yep. Very true. So, I said, Thomas, the way you answered this intense one, I was like, oh yeah, this is Mona. So, when you were asked what parts of your story or identity are most important for people to understand, your answer was simple and very direct. You answered all of it.
Pretty much.
So, how can you please expand on what you meant by that?
Well, the reason I answered all of it is because our lives are literally every one of the parts of our identity,
Yeah, that's
uh,
true.
be it trans, uh, be it atheist or Christian, or insert other religious belief here, um, be it fully capable of doing anything or being disabled. It's all of those things create our identities.
Mm, yeah. Wow.
And I mean, people people ask me almost constantly, if being disabled and being trans, what's the use in being trans when you're disabled and can't do anything about being trans?
Oh, mm,
And my simplest answer is that being trans doesn't reside in what you can do. Being trans resides inside you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. It's not what your physical body can do. It's what it's how you are perceived on the outside that
Yeah.
matches what's on the inside. Okay.
Right.
Um, People ask me why I wear skirts and uh uh band down tops and why they ask me why I don't just wear jeans to kind of fit in. So, well, I'm not trying to fit into anybody's idea of who I am.
Yeah.
You know,
I love that.
I
So what?
wear the things I wear because one, they are freaking comfortable. They fit who I am on the inside.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And when you talk about mental health, like you said, you know, that mental health and LGBTQ plus is a whole mental health problem in itself. Because like you said, if we cannot be who we feel we are on the outside, then how can we, care like that to be who we want to be on the inside? And
Like in costume.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I appreciate that. And I'm trying to attack that, as my new career identity, anytime I'm trying to like hide away and like, oh, don't be too queer or do this. I'm like, no, like I need to be cool, like Mona, and not really give a damn of how people perceive me, right?
One little clarification on something. The term homosexual
Yeah,
actually has very little to do with sex.
exactly. Exactly.
It's who you are.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
sexual part is just who you prefer to be with.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So I do appreciate you being that role model for me and hopefully for others. To just be who the hell you want to be. And people don't want to accept you, that's their problem. Right?
Only problem is they want to voice it as loud as they can
Yeah.
to make
Yeah.
to make you look like you're a very bad person
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
because you don't fit into what they think you should be like.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's like so easy for people to make judgments on what we should or shouldn't do when they're not living our lives. So they just viewing us from the outside and they're like, oh, well, you should be this instead. Well, no, that wasn't fit into my ideal. So like now it's like, oh, we're gonna hate you because like, it's just really outrageous sometimes how people can have so much hate against someone simply because of who they are. Not for anything, you don't know anything about their story, about their background, or about anything about them. Just because what you see on the outside, you have such a hate against them. Like, that
But
baffles me.
judging the outside without knowing your inside.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
I'm going to say that when you say going the judging you without knowing the inside of you, ah, that's really true because if you don't be inside of who you is, it, it wasn't really about you. I don't know. This is like, uh, because she is one of the most loving people I know. So
Yeah. So you said when you said people judge you from the outside, they don't know your inside. He said that's really true. Because people took the time to really get to know you and know who you are on the inside. It's really possible to dislike you because you're just so lovely and so accepting of everybody, no matter what. And I'll add that I'm knowing your story on a personal level, like knowing what you came from in your background, you know, from even a young age. That could be an even greater admiration, appreciation for who you are because you endured so much trauma that you still are like this strong person that doesn't like anyone keep you down, like you're not phased by anything people say. It's like, it's true. Like if people really got to know the they would just didn't want to be your friend. And I remember so moment I was especially Asian because I was young, because I was a teenager. The moment I really seen me grow up through the internet. Uh, And when I started my group, Unity was out with it, shout out to Unity, was out with it. We wanted to have a movie night, and I did not have the capability to do a movie night. But I knew someone who did. No, no, I didn't have to ask. She offered. The company had extravagant setup, and so I remember one of the first things so I said, movie night. Roman referenced and said, okay, we might have a small problem. I said, what the heck is the problem? She said, I am transgender. I said, okay, I already knew that. Um, and they said, so she goes, okay, so the issue is my voice doesn't match my physicality. I still, yes, I still have a very manly voice. And there's a reason behind that. And I said, okay, and she's like, but I don't want to scare people. I said, Mona, you're not going to scare nobody. And if somebody says something crazy, they're let it out of the group. So, I feel like Mona still has enough respect to let you know, like, hey, this is who I am. Like, is this okay? I'm like, yeah, what's the big deal? So, like, she didn't want the big deal that I did. But that's just who Mona is. She wanted me to be comfortable. Of course, I don't care. I said, and everybody else has no choice but to be comfortable. Sometimes you're my friend, and you're not going, and you so yeah.
I kind of feel the need to explain why I haven't worked to make my voice higher
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah, sure.
more, as they would say, effeminate. Uh, one is it's very damaging to the vocal cords,
Mm.
and most individuals who attempt to have their voice sound more effeminate and higher than what they normally would be. Actually, I need to get away from the word normally. What they were before, it's usually not long before they're unable to speak at all except in a whisper. Um,
Oh.
two is that I have fought for so many years to be my authentic self on the outside
Mhm.
that I don't I don't feel like I should change my voice to appease anyone else. I need
Mm.
to be my authentic self. And if my authentic self has a voice like Maud, so be it. I'm
Yeah.
my authentic self. And sometimes that does freak some people out. They see the individual wearing the dress and being feminine and all of a sudden they got Tommy Firestein. You know,
Yeah.
you know, I think it's important to be one's authentic self,
Mhm.
and especially through transition,
Yeah.
something you're not actually. Um, and I have received more honest opinions about that from a lot of people when they realize that I'm not I'm not trying to be something I'm not.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And then they finally get what it means to be transgender.
Yeah.
Which is actually a label that's been placed on us because nobody knew what to call us.
Wow.
You know, because we're not actually changing genders. We because gender resides on the inside. We are just we
Yeah.
are just displaying who we are.
Wow. That's very deep. That's very deep. Yeah. I mean, I've always struggled with that whole idea of transgender because, like you said, you can't change. I mean, no matter how testosterone or estrogen, you can't change certain parts of your body. Like that's just a no-go. Unless you're gonna have crazy surgery, and then that's a whole thing, and then accepting and stuff. But I mean, realistically, okay, you can't change certain things, especially on the inside. So
I mean,
yeah,
that's like gender affirming care.
yeah,
I am on hormone replacement therapy with testosterone inhibitors and estrogen. Uh, Not because that's going to benefit anything on the outside, with the exception of growing more pronounced breasts than I already have. Uh,
yeah,
it it also does a lot on the inside uh, to uh, to assist both emotionally, mentally, and physically on the inside. Uh,
yeah. That makes sense.
the such like women have their cycles. You know, cis women have their cycles.
Mhm.
Guess what? I have those too. But all men actually have those same cycles. It's just not as pronounced because they don't have as much estrogen as we do. And
Yeah.
uh, when I have an estrogen imbalance, which happens just about every 28 days or so, I get the bitchy, I get the cramps, I get the everything
Wow.
of
I
one.
never knew that.
Yeah, it does do that.
Wow.
Because the T inhibitors, the testosterone inhibitors, are of course inhibiting how the testosterone reacts in the body, and the estrogen is is taking over. Doesn't mean I'm going to grow ovaries because guess what? I already have those. A lot of people don't realize that the ovaries and the testicles are the exact same thing.
Oh my
They just move
god.
parts of the body during puberty.
Oh my. Wow, that's so interesting. Yeah, that's new. You, people who are on, total relationships can have the symptoms of special. That's see? like you said, that's something new. I just won. So I never do that. So I'm
Exactly.
glad to see. Wow. Huh. Okay.
My
Wow.
friends tend to stay away from me whenever I'm like, I
Yeah.
go, I got estrogen imbalance. And
Ew. Oh, that makes sense. I have seen sometimes like a little more patient than usual. Ah, and now that makes
exactly,
sense.
exactly. And actually, that actually can lead to pretty strong headaches. It
Wow.
can lead to bloating. Uh,
Yeah, just like anyone else that has a different special. Yeah. Wow, that's
I don't know how
crazy.
many times I've had to bow out of chat groups from a headache and having the experience that I do, knowing that it's the cycle, the estrogen imbalances that's causing the headache, and uh,
Wow.
and usually the admin will hit me up on Facebook and say, "Hey, where'd you go? Where if people are asking about you?" I said, "I'm not doing people now."
Ah,
He knows exactly
yeah,
what I'm talking about.
yeah, yeah. Now,
I am not peopling now.
when you tell me that, okay, say no more. All right, so some people will. Don't pass on it. Bad day. On her exercise and balance. Ah, 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 ah.
Oh my goodness.
He said, "I'm gonna sick." Ah,
But, but I wanted to say, was the only one talking about or thinking or really, so I didn't really easy because I thought I was very sensitive of everybody and those like so the more like this more than tell me but I have to say I become even more sensitive of everybody and like so now that I know how to go away is uh, her so and everybody else.
yeah, I took that too. So you said when you talked about being our authentic self, it really hit him because before he knew us, me and you, Mona, he thought he was to be accepting of everyone and himself. But now that he's our friend and he has me and you in his life, he's becoming even more accepting of people and himself and trying to be as authentic as he possibly can, especially since meeting you and seeing how authentic and accepting you are. And I can say the same for me as well. You know, you I have to be on my social work, since a social work journey, have you as a social worker, you have to be accepting of everybody, right? So I will say that, Mama, I have to be like even though I did just use you in my life for as long as you have. And always is something and occurs to me, but I told you, like, hey, I'm part of the LGBTQ family, like, you genuinely so happy and proud of me, like, it's just so good to have you be that support system for me and keep pushing me to just be, like, who I'm really meant to be. So, yeah.
Man, someone more traffic. And I
Yeah.
also have to say that when I'm thinking it through right now, I look for like digital traffic is a really important value to the end.
Yeah.
What surrounds like so with
Yeah, he said like he made a new friend. Now he looks for people who are really authentic because that's a
Yeah,
really important value to him, and that's only people he surrounds himself with.
yeah, you have to be your authentic self.
Uh-huh.
If you are not being your authentic self, you're being fake.
Yeah.
People will see right through it.
Yeah.
People will see right through it. So if you're not
Yep.
being your authentic self, you will get garbage people surrounding
This is true. It's
you because
very
they don't
true.
care about your authentic self.
Yeah.
If you be your authentic self, you get good people around you automatically.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that you care about who you are.
Yes. Exactly.
And if they don't
Exactly.
care, and if they don't care about who you are, they're not worth your time.
Nope. I agree. I learned that the hard way, unfortunately.
We all do. We all do.
Yes. Yes.
Until I started expressing my authentic self on the outside. Oh man, uh, had my 5 times attempts made it,
Mm.
or at least one of them, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it.
Yes, I did try to unalive myself 5 different times in
Mm-hmm.
several different ways.
Yeah.
If I had to fail at anything, I am so glad it was that.
Yeah. Me too. Me too.
Because I generally don't fail
me,
at things.
me, me, so glad you're with us.
Yes. Yes. I'm glad you're here with us.
Mm.
But yeah, I angered a truck driver one time down in Tempe. You know, they got that milk
Mm-hmm.
processing plant down there. So where I was living, milk trucks were passing all the time. And I was at a very, 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 very low point, and I was just going to roll right out in front of a full milk truck, knowing that they
Oh.
wouldn't be able to stop
Oh,
quickly.
wow.
And boy, was I mistaken because he came to a screeching halt because he was empty. And he got out of his truck. He was pissed off. And luckily, my wheelchair went faster than he could run because he's quite heavy. And so I got away from him, but
Mm.
that was the last time that no, second to the last time that I tried to remove
Wow.
myself from the situation.
Wow. That's not that, that's so fucking, like, what the heck is going on here? And you thought, that was that was a moment, and I stuck out and said, what the hell are you doing out here? Huh? Huh? Wow. Wow. Yeah. But again, like you said, the importance of being able to be authentic and not have to keep hiding, right? Because that's what we said to those choices, like, oh, people are not something I can't be myself. So you start getting confused, and it's like, well, I'm miserable. Like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why you have to be your authentic self, both on the inside and the outside,
Mm-hmm.
because emotionally you can't handle it any other way.
Yeah. That's true. Very
And
true.
since I started expressing who I am on the outside, my stress levels plummeted.
Wow. Wow.
I have almost no stress. Sometimes I may get upset at somebody for doing something stupid, but that quickly goes away because they're stupid and you can't fix stupid. Uh,
Yeah.
But being your authentic self is more important to you, both on the inside and the outside, than it is anyone else.
I agree. I completely agree. And I'm trying to adopt that, you know, that mindset. I'm gonna do it slowly. Uh,
Sometimes it takes a long time to find that aha moment,
yeah,
and I call it an aha moment because it will hit you just that fast. You'll sit
yeah,
there and you'll be doing something and you say, "Aha, that's why," and
yeah,
that'll be it.
yep. Very true. Very, very true.
I mean, I didn't need to be told that I needed to transition. Uh,
Yeah, you can
needed
do it.
I needed to be told that it doesn't matter to anybody else
Yeah,
that I'm transitioning.
yeah, and that's the most affirming thing. So I felt like I was queer for a while. Um, and it took a conversation with a friend to make me realize that I have said something to the friend and they said, mm, you sound queer. And I was like, yeah,
Weird. That's interesting.
uh, you sound like you might be trying to help LGBT. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I think so, but I just don't know what is it supposed to feel like. Like, when I was just so confused, and it was through that conversation. Somehow, that conversation put a switch in my mind, and I was like, okay, this is not just a phase, this is not just an intrusive thought, like, this is really who I am, and someone just
And that was
confirmed.
your aha moment.
Okay, yeah, yeah. And then I was like, okay, okay, so like, I felt okay, once I had that conversation, I told my family, they said, oh, okay, whatever. They didn't care, they was like, oh, well, good for you, whatever. And then I spoke to Mona. And that's what I realized that, okay, this is legit. Sometimes when I told Mona, I said I'm to Mona, Mona said, I'm not surprised. And I was like, what? Huh? 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 What do you mean? And this,
What do I mean by I'm not surprised?
yes, yes.
Uh, you got to realize I've been part of the LGBTQ community for so many years,
I
and
know.
I've been around all the rainbow of aspects when it comes to the LGBTQ community, and you exhibit some of those aspects, whether you realize you are or not.
I know. I
You know,
don't realize it.
I have seen so many men who I asked, are you gay or straight? And they're like, well, I'm extremely straight. And then like 3 months later, they got a boyfriend. And because
Yeah.
they didn't realize that they were exhibiting queer traits on the outside. They were trying to they were trying to keep it hidden, and they just didn't understand. And so when we speak to one another, and I mean talk about everybody as
Mhm.
a world,
Mhm.
but when we speak to one another, we're not just speaking to each other with these. Okay.
Yeah.
The body English usually says a lot more than what the mouth could ever say.
Right.
And granted, some people's bodies don't work from the neck down,
Yeah.
but then again, some other people's bodies don't work from the neck up.
Yeah.
The Regardless of how much your body works or doesn't work, facial expressions scream it.
Oh. Yes.
And so, yeah, I knew. Was I going to say anything? No, it's
Well,
your responsibility in your own time.
yeah,
Yeah. The difference between you and I is I have to wear me on the outside.
yeah,
You don't.
yeah,
But you still need to be your authentic self.
yeah, yeah.
Then you really go what I said to me.
Yeah, Drew knew too. So when I came out to Drew, and I'm like, oh, this is a breaking moment. Like, I'm about to tell my good friend, I was nervous, I was sweating. I said, okay. I said, Drew, I have something to tell you. And so he said, okay, what is it? And I said, so, I said, you just say it already. So, I said, I told him, well, I'll quit. He said, I would do it. I do it. I'm like, what the heck? You mean you do it? He said, I do it. I'm just waiting for you to say something. Huh? That's
Quick
so
funny story for you. When I first moved up to Massachusetts, I went to karaoke with my sister and a couple of her college friends. And at that time, I was kind of passing off like I was gay because I like men, always have. So I was kind of passing myself off as gay, still dressing in boy clothes, but you know, and but and here's how some people are uncomfortable with broaching the subject of being gay or homosexual is that we had our karaoke night with my sister and her two friends and me, and then out in the parking lot, my sister was saying telling one of her college friends, you do understand that my brother is gay. She said, I know. And like, how do you know of that? And she said, guys don't watch guys walk by them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean,
That is,
and I didn't think I was very overt with the watch the guy walk past.
yeah,
I didn't think I was very overt with it, but she noticed because
that's funny. Yeah, yeah,
guys don't
that is
want guys that
funny.
walk by. I have news for her.
Hello.
Yeah, some guys do.
Yes, yes. Oh my god. That's hilarious. Okay, so we'll come down to the wire here. For someone listening who may be questioning who they are, struggling with
Right.
acceptance, or feeling unseen, what would you want them to hear today?
Oh, see if there's some listening who may be questioning their acceptance. I just to be your authentic self, and with without equivocation. Be
Mm-hmm.
who you are. Don't be somebody you're not. You know, don't wear a veil and cover who you are.
So my question is, how can we get to that place of like just authenticity? Like, what if we don't, how can we get to that place?
How can they get it?
Hmm?
That's a really difficult question to answer because
Yep.
everybody's authentic self is different.
Right.
Different. Yeah, and it depends on where they are in their mental journey of who they are.
Mm, yeah.
So the only thing I can say is, be your authentic self where you are right now.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
That's a
don't
good.
worry about
Okay.
moving to a certain goal. You will get there in your own time.
Yeah.
Just be who you are now,
I like that.
and
Yeah.
don't let anyone else prevent you from progressing to where you want to be.
I love that. Yes. That's very well said. Yes, true. You have your hands up like this is school. And you did it. You did it. So.
I know.
I wanted to say one of the criticisms I hear from the people who don't like the LGBT community is that just like when you go to single people, is that we only care about the single and or LGBTQ, and we don't really do anything else. And I wanted to say that Florida is one of the people I am going to say that she is a fully well relative individual. She is one of the little funny people that I know. So she's clearly well rounded individual.
Yeah, that's well said, Drew. So Drew said that one of the criticisms he hears a lot is that, you know, LGBTQ plus people only care about being LGBTQ plus, or disabled people always care about disability stuff. Like they've tried to say like we're not the LGBTQ plus or disabled were not well-rounded people, and Drew was like, that is inaccurate, because Lola is really a well-rounded individual with a lot of, like, experience, and you're not just focused on, oh, I'm just gonna care about LGBTQ. No, you care about everybody no matter what. And that you are just one of the funniest people he knows. And, 'cause a lot of people might also say, well, you don't have parents. We have a lot of parents. Okay? So, you're funny, you can be serious, you can be educational. Like, yeah, and just because, and that's why he labels, because it's like people are so quick to put labels on us, just here, as that label, you know, not as a whole person.
Sadly, we have to live with labels because they are descriptive of who we are.
Yes, exactly. So now, one of my downfalls is I'm not a linguistic. So, I'm always like, oh, well, my anxiety and my self-esteem was like, don't say it like that. Yeah, I'm person who lives with anxiety. Anxiety is not who you are. The way I say it, it's like anxiety is me. And I'm like, it's hard. Sometimes you're right. Like you have to have these labels for people to understand us, but then at the same time, you have idiots that like to go above and beyond with that label and not just see it as a description, but as a title or something.
The official psychology label of being trans is gender dysphoria,
Oh,
which
wow.
simply means that your outward appearance does not fit your inner self.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And again, that goes across a spectrum.
Yeah.
Have you ever met a tomboy, which is
Yeah.
a girl that acts like a boy,
Yeah.
but they still say they're a girl? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that is part of that trans spectrum. Okay, a tomboy
Mm.
is part of that. Okay, they're physically and emotionally a girl, but they do manly things, you know?
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the same spectrum.
Wow. Okay, so
You,
see this
you've heard of a girly man,
yeah.
okay? Again, as a very effeminate male who who shows himself to be male, but is very effeminate. That's a part of the trans spectrum.
Wow.
Okay.
So okay. So just because someone might say, "Oh, I'm transgender," doesn't mean they're fully transgender. It could mean, like you said, a girl dressing like a boy and doing manly things. Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so
And
insightful.
also transgender has absolutely nothing to do with sex either.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
um, there is such a thing as a transgender lesbian.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
one of my friends, local friends here, refers to herself as a trike. She is a
Oh,
trans dyke. Yeah.
wow.
She is a trans female that does manly things.
Wow.
Trans dyke. So she calls herself a trike.
That's
It's like you're a third wheel then, huh?
yeah.
But
That's very
even
interesting.
even within the trans community, there are spectrums within
Yeah.
spectrum.
Yeah, that's I
Nothing
love it.
absolutely binary.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. That's very interesting. Okay. So, Lola, as you know, this podcast is purposely called Still Becoming. And we always like to ask our guests this ultimate question because it's really at the heart of this podcast. So, what does still becoming mean to you?
Everyone is in a constant growth.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter who you are, you will not be the same person tomorrow that you were today. You will not
Mm.
be the same person an hour from now because of something you learned, something you said, something you did. You are always headed toward where you will be. You just haven't gotten there yet. And
Wow.
when you do get there, your journey will continue. We are
Mm.
always still becoming
Mhm.
constantly
Yes.
until we become worm food. And even then, we're still becoming. We just don't know it.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
I think this is my favorite response out of
I mean,
everyone that answers this question.
in my photo albums, there are pictures of me pre-transition, and there are pictures of me mid-transition. There are no pictures of me post-transition because there's no such thing.
Yeah, you're
Transition.
still
I am
transitioning.
in my transition journey,
Yeah.
but there is no end goal. It's
Wow.
always a journey.
So,
So
see?
even in my photo albums, you'll see mid-transition is continuing and will always continue until it's unable to.
That's a my drop moment. Good.
So
Oh,
your life is still becoming,
wow.
right? And
Yes, it
be
is.
still becoming until it can no longer move. And then, even then, your life force will still be becoming because you will end up feeding something else that will grow and be still becoming.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I need to make this a quote on a poster and put it out for my room.
I I
You will always still
understand.
becoming.
That was a phenomenal Wow. I have to take a
Mm.
breath there. Yeah, that was really powerful. But that's the end of the podcast. And Lola, I just want to thank you so much for joining us today and for trusting us with your story. We know that sharing these parts of ourselves publicly isn't always easy, and we're grateful for your honesty, vulnerability, and willingness to help others feel seen and empower them to be their authentic self.
It's been a blast. I've loved every minute of it.
Thank you, Lord. And I have great words in the answer. So take care of so that all of you can learn from you too. So,
Yeah, I am so excited for this podcast to come out. Because I think this will be the most enriching episode yet.
mm,
And to our listeners, thank you. I also joined us today for another episode of Still Becoming with Jazzy and Drew. In today's conversation resonated with you, we encourage you to continue learning, listening, and advocating for spaces where people can show up as their authentic selves. I will also encourage you to share this podcast with others because no matter where you are in your journey, you don't have to have it all figured out right now. Until next time, keep growing, keep healing, and keep becoming.